What's going on, everybody? I'm back with another tutorial here. I've been meaning to post this one up for a couple days, but I just never got around to it. Eradication by Mutrix. This is a pretty in-your-face song for those of you who are really into the whole galactic warfare type stuff. Give it a listen. It's pretty solid. I'm going to be showing you, let's see, 1, 2, 3, about 4 or 5 different synths and tossing in some few extra stuff, few extra things. And I'm going to teach you how I did my little vocoder thing down there. And that's about it. So just prepare yourselves for a lengthy tutorial and just bear with me here. It's going to be long and sexual jokes permitted this time. Anyway, let's get started. Without further ado, show you the stuff what we're going to be working on, and then we'll get to it.
On behalf of the Galactic Federation, we greet you. The time has come for an intervention. Your brain needs to be cleansed physically, as well as on the spiritual level. If you can see your planet from outer space, you will see a murky world punctuated with hate and aggression. It is a present state in a galaxy of light, and therefore must be neutralized.
The disasters that are coming, the military, the government knows about them, and there's a lot of safe areas in this world that they could begin moving. Few that are left will be more easily controllable. They are not what they claim to be.
So anyway, that's what we're going to be dealing with, and let's get right to it. I have, I think, 3 instances of silent, so just open up one here. We're going to be using all 4 oscillators, parts A and B. I'll go through the oscillators first, and then just work my way down. And yeah, that's it. Let's get to it. Volume on oscillator A1 set to 2 o'clock. Phase is about 8 o'clock. Detune is about 11:30. Stereo is at 12. Pan is at 11:30. We have a little bit of a glide on our attack, so raise that up a tad. Decay is at 0%. Sustain is at 100%. And our release is about 25%. Oscillator A2, pitch it up an octave. Volume's just past 3 o'clock. Phase is just past 8 o'clock. The detune is about 11 o'clock. Stereo is just under 12 o'clock. And pan is just past 12 o'clock. And both of these are saw waves, and both of these have a voice count of 8. So for part B, I have this pitched down an octave. Volume's at 100%. Phase is at 0%. Detune is at about 11 o'clock. Stereo is just past 9 o'clock, and the pan is at 12. Also a saw wave, voice at 8. And we have an attack on our amp envelope at 0%, decay is at 0%, and sustain is at 100%. Our release is just a little bit of a delay on the release. Um, we have our second B oscillator pitched up an octave. Volume is just past 12 o'clock, and phase is at 0%. Detune it just under 12 o'clock. Stereo is about 11:30, and pan is at 12. Saw wave also. Voice is set to 8. And we have a low pass filter on our filter B here, and all three knobs are down. For filter A, we have the input from oscillators A and B selected, and low pass filter. Set the cutoff to about 8:30. No resonance and no drive. You don't have to worry about the filter control. That's just for your overall cutoff and resonance. So in the end, you'll be able to just do whatever you want with it. But obviously, I had mine selected to just go along with the song. So if you want to do that, you can. It's whatever. EQ, lower the bass a little bit. Our frequency is just under 12 o'clock. Lower the treble a little bit too, 11:30. And our frequency is at 12 o'clock. Delay. Actually, to just speed this up, I'm going to give a couple seconds on each section here. Just pause it, copy these settings. I want to save as much time as possible, so just bear with me here. There's the reverb and the compressor. On our mod envelope, we have our attack at 0, and our delay is at about 40%. Sustain is at almost 100%, and our release is also about 40%. Our source is the cutoff of oscillators A and B, so select cutoff AB. And for your knob here, set that to about 2 o'clock. LFO, we have it set to saw wave. And what this is going to do is whatever you have selected here, whether it be the volume, the phase, the cutoff, or the resonance, it's going to modulate whatever you have selected with the waveform you have going as the input. So this is your rate at which it's going to modulate it, and the volume of the modulation, and so forth. So we have our rate set to about 3:30, and our gain is almost 9 o'clock. Set it to phase of the oscillators A and A2, and our mod LFO knob here is set to just past 12 o'clock. These really don't have an effect on anything, so you don't have to worry about that. Portamento, for those of you who are kind of new to Sylenth or into portamento modulation in general, what that does is as you're going through your melodies or through your midis, when you're changing notes, the more you have this have an effect on your MIDI, the longer it's going to take to glide up to the next note. So I have this set to about 11:30, and it kind of, instead of giving that quick attack on the next note, I want it to glide. So I'll input a little bit of this into the synth, so it kind of gives it a smooth effect as it's playing along the melody. So after that, after all those steps there, you should have this sound. Excuse me there, let me get back to the beginning here. So just copy, if you want to copy the automation there, here it is. Next, we have the pad. I don't believe I changed anything about the pad. I just duplicated the melody synth here, and maybe I've changed a little bit. Let me look at it here. Our LFO, I changed it to a sine wave, and the rate is just past 12 o'clock, and our phase is set to oscillators A and B, and I lowered the cutoff on filter A. I down pitched oscillator A1 rather, 2 octaves, and pitched A2 up another octave. And Yeah, that's all I changed in that. So that's all you got to do. And the amp envelope actually was a little different, I believe. No, it wasn't. All right, excuse me. On to the next. So there's the pad. I'll play that for you real quick. So for our sub, I had an instance of massive. You don't have to use massive as your sub, but I did. And what I did, I just use a sine square, pitch it down an octave, intensities all the way up, wavetables all the way down, amp all the way up. Make sure your level on envelope 4 is all the way up. Voicing's at 1. Let's see. Our release, turn your release up a little bit and your attack up a little bit. That way you don't get that clipping at the beginning and the end. A lot of people don't know, or I guess they just don't hear it. But if I just left this alone, if I left my attack all the way left and my release left alone, you'll notice like a little bit of a click in the beginning. So to get rid of that, just glide your attack up and give it a little bit of a release, and it'll take care of that just fine. Pause it here, and those are the notes for the subline. Okay, on to reactor. Reactor is that little spiky synth that you hear, this synth right here at the end. So I mimicked it as best as I could. It's not exactly the same, which is the case in most of my stuff. In the beginning here, I have a little bit of EQ, automation, simple stuff. Put a high cut EQ band on there, and I have it set, let's see here, in the beginning, I have it set to 680 hertz, and as it goes all the way up for, I guess, 4 measures or so, it's allowing the higher frequencies to come through. So if you watch that here, it's allowing the synth to kind of just fade in. So let's get started here. I have, let me see. I have our pulse saw set for the oscillator 1, and it's all the way on saw. Amp is all the way up. Our ratio is set to 1. Our color is about 130, 2 o'clock. Oscillator 2 is set to saw also, and it's 100% on saw and 100% on the amp, and the ratio is also at 1, and the color is all the way up. For filter 1, we have it on a low pass. A cutoff is at 9 o'clock. Boost is set to 2 o'clock. Our width is at about 11 o'clock, and our slope is about 1 o'clock. For filter 2, I have it on comb notch, whatever that is. Cutoff is set to 3 o'clock, and our shape is at 2 o'clock. Phase is about 12:30, and our stretch is about 11 o'clock, and I have tune selected. And stereo spread, it's about 2:30. The ramp is just past 9 o'clock, and our rate is about 11:30, and our cycle is just past 3 o'clock. I have a limiter on there. Drive is at 1, and dirt is about 11:30. For our LFO, I have it set to a saw wave. Hit beat, and you want to make sure that your rate is set to triplets. So, and which would include this knob being at about 1 o'clock. And to put the effect of the LFOs on your filters, you have to click these little dashes under the mod wheels here. You'll see a dash, and if you don't see a dash, you'll see lettering or something. Just click it on shape for comb notch and select LFO1. And what you want to do is bring that down just a little bit, and also put LFO1 on the phase on comb notch, and you want to bring that up just a little bit. And that's pretty much it, other than the spectral clip, which is all the way up on all the 3 knobs, and safe base. I have the amount set to 100%. Base level is just past 12 o'clock, and the slope is about 930. I have it pitched down an octave, and the phase at 1230. And after you have that, you should have this sound. So it's kind of a neat sound. Onto the melody, the little guitar-y type saw synth at the end. I call everything a saw synth guitar-y crap deal. Anyway, let's get to it. I believe we're using just 2 oscillators, A1 and A2. Both are saw waves. Voices are on 8. Volume for oscillator A1 is set to 12 o'clock. Phase is at 0%. Detune it to 10 o'clock. Stereo width is all the way up. And pan it to about 10 o'clock. Slight delay on our attack. Sustain is at 100%, and our release is about 40%. Oscillator A2, pitch it up an octave. Volume is at about 1130. Detune is at 0%. I'm sorry, phase is at 0%. Detune is just past 9 o'clock. Stereo width is all the way up. And our pan is about 1 o'clock. Also, again, both of these are saw waves. Voices are on 8. Low pass filter cutoff is set to around 1030. And you want your cutoff here set all the way up. Mod envelope. Have it set to the pitch on A at 12 o'clock on your mod wheel. Have our attack set to about 40%. Our decay is about 25%. Sustain is almost at 100%. And our release is at almost 50%. And for your envelope 2, cutoff for oscillate, that doesn't even matter. I'm not even using part B, sorry. Don't worry about that. Pitch AB for oscillators A and B. Rate is at 9%. I'm sorry, 9 o'clock. I'm getting intertwined with our percentages and times here. Gain is at 9 o'clock, and it's on sine wave. Our portamento is about 10:30, 11 o'clock. We have a little bit of distortion, bit crush. The amount is 11 o'clock, and our dry wet is all the way up. Some phase going on. I'm going to pause. Well, I'll let you guys pause there. Copy these settings. There's our chorus. There's our EQ. Our bass is at 9 o'clock. Frequency is at 12 o'clock. And treble is just under 9 o'clock. And frequency is also at 12 o'clock. Pause right there for the delay. There's our reverb. And our compressor. So, not too bad of a synth there. So yeah, you guys should have that. If you don't, I'm going to upload these presets for download, because not only was I being pretty bad with the time, I was rushing through everything, so it was a bad deal anyway. I'm also going to include this for whatever reason, if you guys want it.
The disasters that are coming.
The little telephone call that you hear, the frantic 911 call, it's pretty famous. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I apologize for the lengthy tutorial that it was, and I wasn't as thorough as I wanted to be because I was trying to just cut down on the time. So what I'm going to do is throw in the presets and the MIDIs and stuff for you guys. You guys seem to crave those, so I'll throw those in there. And for the vocoder synth, or the vocoder modulation thing that I had going on in a video that I had uploaded, I'm going to make a separate tutorial on how to do that. So if you guys are wanting to listen to that, it's this right here. I'll give you a quick preview.
The galactic federation we grant you. The time has come for intervention. Your body needs to be cleansed physically, as well as on a spiritual level.
So yeah, that's it. I'll make a separate tutorial right after this one and upload it. I didn't really think that it belonged in this, as it didn't really have anything to do with the song. So just stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching. See you guys later.
I got guns.